Have you ever heard of the concept harvest now, decrypt later? If this doesn't say anything to you, if it doesn't ring any bells, then you are exactly right in today's video, because first I'm going to talk quickly about what the idea is, and then I'm going to talk about a company called Qrypt and their idea to solve this problem. So if that sounds interesting to you, please stay tuned for today's video. And as always, make sure to get yourself something to drink and we get ready to take a look at this quantum company. So before we go to the website, quickly about this idea of the harvest now, decrypt later. So there's an encryption method today, which is called asymmetric encryption. The idea is that you have a mathematical problem that is easier to verify than to solve in one or the other direction. So think about if you are looking at the number 15. 15 is actually composed out of two prime numbers, two factors, which is 3 and 5. So 3 and 5 cannot be factorized into any smaller numbers for like integer numbers anymore. So they are the prime numbers, 3 and 5. And if I give you the number 15, it is kind of difficult to say what are the factors. So you would have to divide it by, I don't know, 2 first, and then you realize, oh no, it's 7.5, and then okay. In this case, you're already arriving at 3, and then you figure it out. If you, for example, go to bigger prime numbers or much larger numbers, this problem becomes more and more difficult because it is really a brute force problem. You have to test every other number. So you can, of course, exclude all the even numbers so that you end up with all the odd ones, but then you have to check basically everything which you don't know exactly if it's a prime number or not. So this is kind of being used to encrypt messages today, and that's what makes sure that, I don't know, when you are using your messenger service of choice, which is encrypted, that you can really, let's say, communicate in an encrypted channel. Now the problem with prime factorization is, or the good thing about it is that it's considered a computationally hard problem. So if you just have a number that is big enough and you know the prime factors, you are safe. And you can basically estimate this by saying, okay, I have this brute force method. How long does it take for a computer to crack this? Basically, you just take the two biggest prime numbers you know, you multiply them with each other, and it will be very, very difficult to, let's say, test all the different combinations of prime numbers that are known until you figure out which are the actual ones that create this number. So it is considered a computationally hard problem, and that's what kind of ensures that the message is encrypted. So in theory, we could crack all the encryption, but only if we knew what are the prime numbers. And today with computers, even with supercomputers, it's not possible if you choose numbers high enough. And that's what is protecting your secret messages, but also the secret messages of our government, the secret messages of big corporations, and so on. Now, if you had a quantum computer, there would be a way around this. And this is something that is called Shor's algorithm that has been invented by Peter Shor. And it is basically a way to use a quantum computer, or to use the more or less interference of quantum states to figure out which are the prime factors of a number, of a given number. And this is actually something that is completely novel to quantum computers, and it will allow a massive speed up. Now, of course, today there are no quantum computers known that can actually solve these big numbers. So we would say we are kind of safe. But actually, it depends, because there are some messages where, let's say, the cryptographic value is only important for a couple of seconds. Like when you open your bank app and you need to, or you open some app and you need to authenticate with your phone, and you type in the 2 digits like 35 and then press enter, and then it unlocks your bank account. This secret is not a secret that needs to be kept secret for a long time, because after, I don't know, 5 minutes, this 2-factor authentication will anyways expire. However, there are other secrets which need to be kept secret for a longer period of time. Think about, let's say, governmental secrets. Think about, I don't know, some state secrets that are supposed to stay secret for a long period of time, that are like classified files or something like that. you might not want to expose them. Think about, I don't know, nuclear codes. You don't want to expose them, right? So you have to make sure that certain secrets remain secret for a long time. And now the problem is, if you had some player that is kind of sniffing into today's information channels, like if governments are, let's say, communicating these signals between different institutions, these secret files on, let's say, some file transfer, some internet connection, there could be somebody who's sniffing into that and then listening to the signal, storing it somewhere on a hard disk drive or whatever, and keeping it there for many, many years until at one day, tada, the quantum computer is there, and now we can decrypt the signal. This is the idea of harvest now, decrypt later. So suddenly, when you have the quantum computer, you can decrypt something that used to be very, let's say, safely secret, but now is not anymore safe. And now, as far as I understand, the company that we are looking into today, Qrypt with Q at the beginning, they are actually promising to solve this problem for us, because now going to the website, it says, safeguard your enterprise data with quantum secure encryption. Protect your privacy now and forever. Remove the risk of data harvesting today. And that's probably exactly what I was talking about. And we see this cool animation here on the side. Stop transmitting encryption keys. If you don't eliminate key transmission, you don't eliminate the risk of harvest now, decrypt later, HNDL, even with NIST post-quantum cryptography. Quick note on that. NIST is this American National Institute, which is important for the standards in technology. And they have actually published a while ago some post-quantum cryptography standards. So what kind of cryptography do you need to apply to be safe towards this quantum attack where somebody's trying to use prime factorization to decrypt your message? So there are these NIST post-quantum cryptography guidelines, but here it says they alone, they are not the only thing that you need to take care of. You also need to take care of this key transmission part here. So be quantum secure today, deploy now, drop in a container or SDK, 4 lines of code to start, globally, on demand, on premises, or on any device, cost efficient without dedicated hardware requirements. Then viable on-time pad encryption, so mathematically proven, unbreakable and future-proofed, no more fail and replace. Key generation without transmission, so generate identical keys at multiple endpoints, no transmission, zero interception possibility, and then quantum random numbers, high output quantum random number generator, QRNG, cloud with a roadmap of multiple source types manufactured in and based in the United States. That's a lot of information in just 4 different items. Let's quickly hop into each single one of them. And by the way, very nice background image with the mountains here and the sky. So deploy now. I guess when they're talking about containers here, this is talking about something like Docker containers, and SDK is usually software development kit. So this is a deployment scheme, for example, for development, I assume. That is very easy, and that's basically how things are working today in the cloud. You use Docker containers, and I mean, that goes all the way from cloud all the way down to probably edge applications, depending on how you are doing it in detail. The other thing that is probably interesting is here, the quantum random numbers. I just wanted to highlight that one as well, because we already have highlighted some companies in that space that are creating these quantum random number generators. Very interesting technology, very, let's say, relevant already today, not only for this encryption or decryption topic here, but also for simulation. If you haven't seen the video, then go check out the Hidden Quantum Champions playlist on our YouTube channel. There's much more information about that. Okay, solutions based on Qrypt are quantum secure, exceed national security mandates, remediate quantum risk today, secure remote data scenarios, protect against IP theft, achieve true agility, and safeguard data for longevity. These are, let's say, the 6 value adds that they are proposing here, and I think it's more or less self-explanatory given the long introduction part that we had before. Then there's some video here and something about the services for data at rest and in motion. So there is quantum entropy. Businesses need secure encryption, and secure encryption needs high entropy random numbers. We offer entropy with an easy-to-use REST API providing high-rate quantum random numbers. So this is a quantum random number generator that is sitting somewhere in the cloud because there's a REST API access here. So this is a standard API access and an application interface access that is provided. So you can basically, like you are coding your app today with ChatGPT, you can ping their cloud and get some random numbers from this quantum random number generator they have. There is key generation as well. So businesses need to protect against a future quantum threat and never distribute encryption keys that can be intercepted. We offer a service to generate identical keys at multiple endpoints. So this is the key generation. And then there's Qrypt SDK. Developers need familiar tools based on modern development practices. We provide an SDK that software development kit, right? That can be easily integrated to applications and infrastructure to make them quantum secure. Secure your IT infrastructure today, and then there's the call to action to contact them. Besides that, we also see some latest insights and resources down here. I'm recording this end of 2025, and we see here that there is something from multiple news from 2025, and there's also something from 2024 here. And then down here we find the typical things. So the company is based in New York in the US, and we see here the products that were mentioned already before. So quantum entropy as a service, quantum entropy appliance, quantum secure IPsec gateway, that one we haven't seen yet, and the digital quantum key distribution, as well as Q isolate, which we also haven't seen yet. And then there's some information about the company and some resources to learn from, as well as some ISO certifications and SOC 2 down here. Now let's quickly take a look at the product. So entropy as a service, I think, is something that we've seen. So it says quantum entropy, quantum randomness on demand at scale, quantum generated random number to improve key security and eliminate entropy starvation. So that's something that we've, I think, seen here before. So I will not go through the details of that one now. Then there's also quantum entropy appliance. So that's now, let's say, the server rack type of machine that is, I guess, generating the random numbers. So you see this is a physical product. It looks like it goes right into a server rack. And here it says Qrypt quantum entropy appliance, quantum secure your critical infrastructure at enterprise scale with the only quantum entropy appliance made in the USA. And then here you can request trial. Why do enterprises need quantum security? So current classical and pseudo random number generators, RNGs, are vulnerable. RNGs are not truly random. They are deterministic and are predictable with enough computational power. That's just because if you ask your computer to generate a random number, it can not actually generate something because the machine that is underneath your computer is deterministic, even though it sometimes doesn't seem like it, because when you boot it, it does some random stuff. It's actually not random, it's programmed into it. And there might just be a lot of processes that make it seem random, but actually everything that your computer does is predictable, is deterministic. So when you ask it for a random number, it will probably use some factor in some system time and other variables, and by that determine something that looks like a random number to you, but in fact might not actually be a random number. And that is usually not a problem. However, if you are looking at, let's say, encrypting secrets or anything like that, it can become a problem. And that's why they say here, this is a vulnerability, because somebody could figure out all the, let's say, variables that go into this algorithm. And I mean, the algorithm is coded somewhere, so you can figure them out, and somebody could simulate those. Then they could actually, let's say, crack your random number generation. They could predict what are the random numbers that you're generating and that you're using to encrypt your secrets. Then it says here better. So quantum random number generators are quantum secure. QRNGs leverage the inherent randomness of quantum mechanics. That's something that we've also talked about here before. If you, for example, put a qubit into a superposition state between 1 and 0, then you can not predict when you measure it exactly into which state it's going to fall. You can only predict at a certain probability. You can only know the probability at which it's going to fall in the state 1 or state 0, but you cannot say which one exactly it will fall into. And that's protected, or that's secured by the theory of quantum physics. So as long as it's the leading theory that we have in physics, and it has been for the last decades, it's the most precisely measured theory that we ever had of something. As long as this theory remains, let's say, the leading one, it means that these processes are truly random. And that means if you have a quantum process, you can create random numbers, really random numbers with it. So it says also truly random, and then unpredictable and cannot be replicated. The replication part, I think, has to do something with the non-cloning theorem. So you cannot just copy a quantum system and have a second one that has exactly the identical properties as the other one, because it is sort of quantum property. It's a quantum property, and it cannot be copied or cloned. Then last, it says best here, so the most powerful QRNGs, and the only one made in the USA is Qrypt's Atlas Entropy Card, built in exclusive partnership with Oak Ridge National Laboratory, most powerful source of quantum random numbers available, so 1.575 Gbps, and then it's NIST ESV certified. There are some more information here. So only USA source of quantum entropy. We've seen that. The number generation rate. Then designed for large-scale enterprise infrastructure. That's like the server rack fit, right? Easy consumption and interoperability via Palo Open REST API. So that's the software interface, how to get the random numbers from the machine. Management console facilitates workflow automation and visibility, and then crypto agility makes it easy to switch between cryptographic algorithms. And then you see here the applications in IoT, in securing AI data, messaging, VPN, and secure file transfer. I think simulation, like Monte Carlo type of simulation, is probably also an interesting area that we've seen with other competitors already before, which is maybe not mentioned too much here. Use cases. So quantum entropy source for entropy distribution service, quantum entropy source for any application, Qrypt digital QKD, HSM's firewall, air gap systems, and more. IPSES, SFTP, and other network protocols and system random pools. Okay, and then there's more information down here, but we are not going into this in the details now. Besides that, so that was, I think, this one. There's this IPsec gateway here. I think we are not. Let's not go into the details of that one to not make it too long today, because I also got the feedback that sometimes it's too long for you. So let's quickly check out this digital quantum key distribution. So DQKD, discover the future of quantum secure key distribution where distance is no obstacle and security is enhanced. The Qrypt advantage, quantum secure IoT and OT networks, cost-effective enhancement of traditional QKD, plug-and-play extension for QKD networks, seamlessly interoperable, solves traditional QKD limitations, which is including 150 kilometer distance and 1.5 Mbps key rates, and available on-premise and in the cloud. So what is the DQKD? So there's the quantum random numbers up here, and then it says Qrypt's quantum random number generators feed Qrypt's QKD to enable independent generation of truly random secret keys at multiple endpoints, then defense against harvest now, decrypt later attacks. So the QKD is built on the robust BLAST protocol and defense against harvest now, decrypt later attacks. Then Qrypt's QDK eliminates the need for centralized key distribution, minimizing bottlenecks and reducing SPOFs. Not sure what an SPOF is, to be honest. Single point of failure. Okay, could have gotten that before, right? And then the STEMs, Los Alamos and Oak Ridge, who are involved in that. And then you see also use cases down here. So secure IoT networks, securing Palo Alto firewalls, secure rotation of symmetric keys, integration of implicit authentication in 4G and 5G, quantum secure IPsec VPNs, secure storage, integrations with TCP IP protocols to enhance security. So this is like in the internet communication, voice over IP security, connecting QKD nodes, and then NVIDIA DPU integration as well. Then successful pilot deployment with Megaport and Qrypt. So there's some information here also about the use case, and then some more information about the complements traditional quantum key distribution. So how to combine what they have with the quantum key distribution. Quantum key distribution is another concept of quantum communication using, let's say, entangled or single photon type of setups. Usually it also works on telecommunication fibers, but at smaller distances. And here is explained how it kind of complements each other. So it says redundancy, enhanced resilience by providing backup key distribution, ensuring continuous secure communication, range, expands secure key distribution beyond the physical limitations of QKD, and then supports both software and hardware deployments integration seamlessly into diverse infrastructure. And there is some more information here. Then how to get started. So as mentioned before, there's a software development kit, right? And then there's the hardware, we saw it before on the product side. Quantum key distribution, I think we've seen that one. Let's quickly check out the last one, which is the Q-isolate. So isolated plug and play quantum secure encryption for when it matters most. Crisis communications, disaster recovery, data center migrations, and M&A, mergers and acquisitions, I guess. The Qrypt advantage, and then I think that's something that we've seen before. And then some information of how this actually works. So you have here the two different endpoints, let's say the data center that you want to move, and then you have this isolated quantum secure channel that is basically provided by this Q-isolate. So this is, I guess, let's say the finished product when you take everything into account, when you put everything together. At the end, you get this product. Here it also says Q-isolate is a plug-and-play server loaded with pre-positioned quantum secure encryption keys. These keys are generated off-device using Qrypt's US-built random quantum number generators and securely provisioned onto Q-isolate ahead of time. Exclusively access pre-positioned keys in Q-isolate. Establish secure communication channels between designated endpoints, even if the main network is compromised, and then use pre-shared keys of AES encryption, on-time PAT OTP encryption, or pair them with ephemeral keys for TLS IPsec enhancements. under the hood. So how does it actually work? Quantum generated keys. All keys are generated using this quantum random number generator before being positioned on the device. Nothing is generated on the appliance itself. Then the prepositioned key server. So keys are delivered out of band and stored on Q isolate prior to any incident, ensuring they remain secure and never transmitted over vulnerable networks. So you basically have the quantum random number generator, and you generate those keys in a local environment, not on a network, and then you store them on the device, right? And then it says FIPS compliant chassis, so hardware is housed in a certified secure environment with tamper evident controls, then legacy compatible, suitable for low latency or secure constrained systems, no need for PQCs or heavy computational upgrades, then attestation optional. Digital signatures can be used to verify that the keys were generated by a certified quantum random number generator, similar to how HSMs provide proof of key origin. Air-gapped isolated hardware. So Q-isolate can be fully isolated from enterprise infrastructure, can be air-gapped and powered down until needed, eliminating exposure to live network and remote access threats. And then no PKI eliminates resilience on public-private key infrastructure, PKI. All encryption is symmetric using prepositioned AES keys or OTPs, so there's no key exchange or certificate management. And that's this idea of, let's say, asymmetric encryption that I was opening today's video with, right? So this is not the case here. You have two key sets, and then you're basically using these to communicate. There's no key which is in any way communicated over a network and can be used to decrypt things later. There's also some information here for developers. Of course, there's some learning material about the technology. So how are the random numbers actually generated, I guess. Let's see if we can see something about it here. Usually I think this is like probably some photonic process, but no, I'm not sure. I don't see anything at least. So I'm not sure how this is actually being generated and if they are talking about it. So let's see, not on the technology, maybe here on the resources side. There's something about the guide here explaining quantum risk. Harvest now, decrypt later. How to protect, prepare. Not sure if there's something about this, how the technology underneath actually works from a physics point of view. I mean, usually you need some type of quantum system to generate a 1 or 0. Let's see if it's in the FAQs maybe. Here, quantum entropy. What is quantum entropy? Here, quantum random number generation utilizes inherent quantum phenomena to generate true random numbers, providing genuine... No, I don't think so. Not sure if we can learn something here. Physics, maybe? Not sure. No, I don't think so. Okay, maybe we cannot learn something about the technology. So this is more for the developers, right? So this is how to actually use the system on the software side of things. Then there's something for the partners and the federal, and then of course there's also some information about the about the company. But okay, maybe let's go to this part again, because I think there's no information about that. Maybe cryptographic techniques, but I'm not sure. Don't know. I'm not sure if they're saying something about let's say the underneath technology that is creating those random numbers. But of course, I mean, As always, check out the Hidden Champions playlist. There are also competitors, which I think are a little bit, let's say, exposing what they underneath technology in their cases. Okay, let's quickly check out the About Us tab as always in this review. So what is actually the company or what is behind Qrypt? So it says the state of our data changes, stay crypto agile. Quantum computing looms and existing security solutions can't guarantee our data remains ours. Qrypt was established to protect and defend our collective privacy from exploitation regardless of where the threat originates. Founder Kevin Chalker and Dennis Mandic hand-selected prodigious leaders from engineering, physics, and cryptography to create a new standard in security. Through strategic investments in cutting-edge quantum hardware companies and exclusive partnerships with premier global research institutes and US national labs, we have built the only cryptographic solution capable of securing data indefinitely. Qrypt's quantum secure encryption gives people the tool they need to immutably secure their data and the right to privacy. Through great partnerships and unmatched team pedigree, we have built patented encryption methods and applications that allow everyone to reclaim the right to digital autonomy. Then here we see the leadership team with the founders, as well as the let's say leadership C-level team, the advisory board, and of course also the partnerships that they have. We've seen Oak Ridge and Los Alamos before. QEDC, which is also part of this series, probably the video is already online by this time. EPFL, which is also very well known here in Switzerland as the, let's say, one of the major technical universities in the country. And we have also QSite here as another one in there. Then there are also some awards down here and recognitions that are being listed. And then I think that's the usual lower part of the website. And with that, I would like to end today's video about Qrypt. I hope you found it interesting. If so, please make sure to give it a like. And if you don't want to miss out on the next one, make sure to subscribe to this channel. As always, stay hydrated, and then hopefully let's talk about the next, or crack the next secret, the next and maybe encrypted secret in the next video. See you then. Bye bye.